no excuses.
No excuse. Not while I'm around,
No.
John X-Fire. Not while I'm around. We'll have the reconnection. Lewis heard me, I think, and he got it together.
Surprisingly, I never got to hang out with Lewis before. You know, he's a fresher addition to Execration, right? If you think about this roster, he used to have Bob for the longest time. Lewis is a talky guy, too. There's something about Execration and very talky people on the mid lane. He is a yappy boy, if you let him.
I'm surprised you're not part of Execration at this point, John. Skitter, going to be found out by Shanks. Might be an opportunity for Talon to finally let you go, John. Mid lane. Going to have Lewis and Malrine going at it. I mean, I dare say, like, I'd like to say it's a club-favored lane, but it doesn't never feel that way against Pangolier, because Pango just doesn't really lose lanes with shield crack.
No. Like, he does have a lot of durability. You can outpoke this Quap. It's rather interesting as well if you look at what Lewis has done. He's gone for the Scream of Pain over the Shadow Strike. Normally, you always see the Shadow Strike with Bondage. We've seen a few players go back for the 0-2-3 build, which I'll assume Lewis is going to try to gun for, if not a 2-1-2. And that is more manageable in a melee matchup, right? You walk up, you're going to get that Scream off, you're going to get the right clicks. It's more consistent farm as well here for the Quap. And that is something very important on the mid. Curious to see if you'll have enough room to kind of get that rotation onto mid with the supports, because you're running this Bounty Hunter support up top for Shanks. This is a bit of a slower support to try to make action around the map. You do have the early Shadow Walk to kind of try to get into position by, say, the 4-minute mark, but you're not achieving as much in that lane up top, although there is a lot of poking and prodding across the lanes at the very least here.
Yeah, I mean, bottom lane, of course, you have CML on this Ench against the crit Shaman. CML shouldn't have too hard of a time. I mean, generally as Ench, you don't really tend to lose lane. Carlos and the Prophet should be a bit of a nuisance, as well as you have that the heals coming out from Nature's Prophet, because apparently in this meta, everyone just heals, John. Because why not?
Yeah, you know, this used to be a meme, right? This facet used to be a big meme when you had the Giant Treant, but because you don't have that, now this is what you go for. And it honestly does quite a fair bit of work. That sustain you get even in laning is not to be discounted. It's a free extra long tango as well, down mid.
Taking a fair bit of damage here. Malrine really starting to dominate this mid matchup. And again, even with the Quap, it's quite hard, because Malrine, once he closes the gap, he can just deal so much damage. Poor old Lewis, already finding himself quite low on the mana pool, but does have the bottle up. Should look to secure the other water rune. Meanwhile, Tino, it's like a few shenanigans happening up top. Tino trying to avoid the lane matchup altogether if he can. Spam behind shells as best as possible, and poor old Skitter just has to find a way to try and deal with it. But he doesn't really seem like he's struggling, John. You know, he's having a good old time on this Naga Siren.
Yeah, just getting that farm, no real contest onto this Naga. There's no pressure early on here from Execration, which is normally something we see a lot from Tino. If you think about his best heroes, stuff like that Beastmaster in particular, just hammering that pressure on. The Darkseer and the Bounty Hunter is a little bit slower to go. You're going to need EXP. You're going to need to soak for a little bit. There is also just this potential for early sentries anyway, which you are dropping down here on snaking. So even contesting for these Lotus is going to be a little bit tougher. And again, the Darkseer will recover, but giving an early start to the Naga to get that build up into, say, the Manta Butterfly that we used to see certainly does spell some issues down the line for Exa. I mean, normally you don't get such a free lane for the core Naga. You tend to have better matchups, as you're poking Tino pretty hard here.
Absolutely are, Tino. Not off to the most amazing start, but this is kind of what you get with the Bounty support. It's kind of like the Ricky we saw. I'd say Bounty's probably a little bit more useful, John, in the early stages, but you aren't really able to abuse the lane duo very much without level 2 Iron Shell, which now you have on Tino. But at this point, like with this snaking Dazzle and this Naga Siren just completely free farming it, it almost feels like the pressure's just never going to come.
No, it certainly isn't. I mean, all the sustain available on the side of Falcons for that lane. I mean, you're free to do what you want there for Skitter. You have some room to actually make this movement at the 4-minute mark for Shanks to ensure that the water rune is secured for Lewis. So that's a little bit of a boon. The mid lane has been equalizing a fair bit for Lewis, managing to find the same CS as Malrine and starting to get that level gain at around the same pace. Slightly better, actually, for Lewis here overall, about to hit 5. And he does go for the 3-1-1 build.
In trouble, CML has the Wild Ring Ripper. Heals coming out from Crit. Actually, Fairy Fire as well. He's making it very hard for CML, as CML able to secure first blood with that level 2 enchant. And even Amar maybe going a little bit too far now, as they'll try to turn once again to sprout out as well. Do they have another Hurricane available? Well, they don't even need it. 2 kills down to this bottom lane. And that's what you get for $2,000, John, if you want to replay.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Shanks,
That doesn't look worthwhile.
give me a break, John. If you can talk badly about Talon, surely I can talk badly about Falcon. Shanks being chased out.
He's fine. And that was fine too. Look, you know, Amar pushes the envelope. He tries to go for some plays that are maybe a little bit deeper than you'd want. And you can't underestimate just how much output CML does have with a couple of good creeps. He's got himself the Ghost Creep now with that Frost attack. A lot of move slow to have to play into. More chase down potential here for CML. He's just looking to poke crit away from the lane, and that just gives so much space for Palos. Like, this Nature's Prophet is just free farming bot, no contest from Bristle, and it's just, again, it sets a really good tone. You're at the point where you could consider some teleportation ganks as well as the laning phase goes on. You can help secure the 6-minute rune as well. And again, it's just opening up this early phase of the game for Execration so far.
Absolutely is. 6-minute power rune's about to spawn up. Falcons, a lot of priority here in ensuring Maureen does secure a power rune for himself. Of course, you're up against an end, so it can be a little bit annoying here with CML. CML probably going to have to look to back off, though. See if they get lucky, and they do not. Lewis gets an Arcane Rune, and he's going to be very happy about that.
Oh, that he is. He already has level 6 up as well. Threat of Sonic Wave is on hand. Could look for rotation out. I will say as well, I really appreciate the Execration wards early on. One right in front of the Roche pit up top. You saw one D ward in the triangle area, just allowing them that control onto the mid, allowing that control into the camps as well for CML to build this army up. And sure, you D-ward the triangle, the damage is done from him roaming around that area anyhow. And again, this early tempo.
Maureen's getting very aggressive here. Lewis, he'll pop the Sonic Wave just to look to retreat. And Maureen probably should retreat himself and will do so. He just needed that second to think about it. Do I want to retreat? I probably should. Amar, in danger again. He'll drop as Lewis. Rotating over, he'll stick around for the Shrine of Wisdom to really ensure they rub salt into the wound here of this offlane. But the CML, he's been doing very good on this Ench, and it's not a hero you see as often anymore, these support ends, especially in this meta, but it's still very potent in the laning stage.
Tino?
In trouble. Tino looking to fight back, though. Skitter's actually the one in danger now. Skitter trying to fight back. He's going to at least look for Tino and does get it. Looking for the TP away. Shanks can't stop him. He's going to make it. Beautiful TP away. Can't say the same for Pearl snaking. He'll get stunned by Shanks. But you've got to be happy about that. If you are the side of Falcons, just getting Skitter out of there, though it still seems like very favorable trades the way of Execration.
I'd say you're pretty darn happy on Execration. You got both Shrines of Wisdom, so your Bounty Hunter now is reaching ever closer to 6, level 5 at this moment, 7 minutes 40 in. So you're going to have the threat of track starting to become a reality much earlier. You're getting that early activity out from Palos. Like, it's kind of panning out. I think Falcons have to be concerned about bleeding some of these early kills out to the side of Execration, because this lineup, especially as you approach early level 6s here on that Bounty Hunter, with Nature's Prophet on hand, you are going hunting here. You are looking for that snowball to kick in, and the foundations are set for that to get rolling here, Mike.
Another power rune as well for Lewis. So his amp damage now picked up for Lewis, and it's something we've seen from SCA all day, just the power rune secures.
Yeah.
Good to see.
Very disciplined.
Falcons obviously not too concerned about it yet, but Lewis has made his rotation up towards the top lane to see if he can secure Skitter. Sonic Wave is once again available. Falcons, though, with a good read, they have some vision in that jungle anyway, so they know that the Quap is around. They'll look to retreat. And Exile, I mean, at this stage, you may as well just secure the tier 1 tower. You've already popped the amp damage. You know they can't really stop you from taking it.
No.
They do try to pull the creep wave away with a mirror image, but it is taken out.
Yeah, and this is the one issue for Falcons draft, and we heard the panel kind of talking about it. You've got Naga Siren on safe lane, you've got a Bristleback on off. Both these heroes need some time to really get into that build-up. They do have the song ready if they'd want to try to do an entrapment here, somehow. But it's a bit risky. Again, you don't have a good launching point on Falcons yet. You are waiting for Malrine to be comfy on the Pangolier. The Rolling Thunder is really your early focal point for these engagements, and because of that mid-start with the rune control coming out from Lewis, he's not quite at that snowball you'd want yet for the Pango either. He's not too far behind, mind you, in terms of net worth, but you are waiting for that diffusal to be up for you to start to gain some confidence in some of that timing. At least they can still hold on to the objectives. No hard commit from Execration yet here.
Marine looking to try and shank, so he's actually taking a fair bit of damage on his way in now, looking to pop that Rolling Thunder just to try and fight back as a Sonic Wave actually connecting right on the edge. But it won't matter. Marine is okay. We'll make it out. Execration, they don't really have anything like a siege creep here to try and follow up with that tier 1 tower, so probably just power runes once again, but it is going to be another power rune secure for Lewis by the looks of it.
Yeah, and a little bit extra again, get a reset going. Nice haste rune as well as we hit a pause, this time from Amar with some packet loss, which is fair.
Oh, he didn't say lost, John, he just said
just packets.
Just packets.
Yeah, like a certain indie home packet Phoenix back in the day.
Absolutely.
You know, a little packet here and there.
Who
Doesn't
was
hurt
it
anyone.
that said pockets instead and we just couldn't get over it? There was like a solid few months where we just kept making fun of it. Just someone said
I
pocket.
forget, I remember that, but I forget who.
What's wrong with us?
I don't know.
There's something seriously wrong with us. Bottom lane, ATF. Shanks will just make sure he keeps vision. They've got vision on the high ground as well, and ATF. This is not going to be very fun for him. ATF, not happy. Absolutely. Well, Shanks just made some money, didn't he, John?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Track kills.
Yeah, it's
and this is
building
one
up.
of those things, something that hasn't changed since Dota All-Star.
No.
Track is a big problem if you keep giving kills away.
That it is, and again, it comes down to those early factors. Double Shrines of Wisdom, giving these kills away. And sure, you know, you managed to find out 1 kill on Tino, but the trade-off is massive for this tempo that Execration are looking to secure. You're up against a Nature's Prophet. He will look to connect every single time with Quap and Bounty Hunter if they play as a unit, and they're getting that map space open. They, again, drop a nice aggressive ward to watch the right side. They're getting a lot of room out to get that aura building on Tino, who is probably the one that's kind of set back here on Exe.
Look at that, John.
And the army's there.
Oh, yeah, my favorite. Snaking will deal with the Skelly boys, but only so long you can do that, John.
No.
They'll just keep coming.
Look at him.
Radiant's
Here they
Again.
come.
is under attack.
Bring the boys in. Big jump in. Lewis, he doesn't really have much mana or spells
So
to
much
play with. The
damage.
Malrine, he just cops so much. That Prophet ulti.
Is under attack.
And right now, you've got to be very concerned about Falcons. You really got to find a way to slow the pace of the game a little bit. Because, again, all these kills you give away with Track, it's going to mean just that much more. And it can really snowball out of control quite quickly.
And it will. At the least, they are willing to concede this area. I mean, they're not looking to hard defend. They know they don't have the cleanest angles out. They need some items to be up. It's a Blade Mail for Amar that he's looking to farm up. It's the full Manta that we're talking about here for Skitter as well on the Naga. Again, that Diffusal Blade for Malrine isn't quite ready yet. You need at least 2 of these items to be up for you to start to feel confident.
Oh, no. Look at this. This is the catch-up farm
Yep.
that you're kind of hoping for ATF, but that's all taken away. We saw a similar thing in our last series as well. Like Talon, they didn't have a great time to start with their Bristle, but you know that catch-up farm in the jungle is what really got them started. And well, ATF, sadly, he doesn't have that opportunity. As now they're just going to jump him again. They understand the importance
pushing
of
him
just
so
hunting
hard.
this man every single
Oh,
time.
those blocks, man.
ATF, he'll be saved for now by snaking, and it looks like he might just make it out. But I love the emphasis. We've got a target, and that's the guy we're aiming for this whole game. Oh, they've got him. Lewis will find him. Snaking. No Shallow Grave to speak of. He's just going to stand there and basically die. Execration.
Yeah.
Well, look at that, Jonathan.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a team that you can never underestimate. They run some drafts that you probably don't really see too often. Yeah, there's a lack of control, sure, you could say that. And Nature's Prophet 1 used to be a thing, kind of fades in and out. And they just make it work. They play their own Dota, they play their own style. And it feels like for Falcons, with this kind of draft, they're not fully ready for it. They just, again, need time here, Mike. Need the Manta up, need the Diffusal up, need the Blade Mail up, need a little bit more on top of all of that. And they just have to be so careful. The thing is as well, playing against this Bounty Hunter of Shanks, they're going to have to expend a lot of money in their supports to get that Sentry Vision down. Like, you have to stop this free movement coming out from Execration. The free information that's coming in is really keeping them so suppressed on the side of Falcons. There's not much they can do, and while all of that happens, you're still farming on Palos. He's still working up a storm here on the Nature's Prophet. You're getting that catch-up on Tino. He already has the mech up, going for the Guardian Greaves, some of that aura placement to kick in. And again, that timing is still lining up nicely for Exe.
Again, they're going. ATF, he just can't catch a break, this poor guy. This time, though, he surely will be okay. In fact, they were ready for it. Malrine is in the corner waiting. Nice rolling thunder to the start. Tino going to be okay for now, though, as ATF going to be very careful here with Lewis around. There's no Sonic Wave yet, though. ATF still being focused. They'll take down Tino. Here comes Palos now. Or does he? He's not there yet. ATF will walk out. Meanwhile, Snaking, he will go down as they'll chase down CML and take him out. But here's Palos. Here's the problem. Can you deal with the Prophet? It doesn't seem like an ATF. He will go down eventually. Crit, he'll at least deal with Palos. But it's going to be at a heavy cost, and Lewis with a triple kill. 2K in the bank account as well after that team fight. He's got the Kyra.
Yeah, that he does. Just, again, all of that being trackled, except for the Shadow Shaman, who does get the Dispel with foul play. But it's just so much gold that you bleed out. And that's Falcons kind of reading that movement, right? They're the ones smoked up behind Amar. They knew they were going to be jumping on that bristleback bait here, but it didn't feel like they had a clean angle. Execration were so patient. They were so patient with that mech usage. They were so patient with when that Sonic Wave would fly out. And it just forced such a deep chase out from Falcons that they were not in a good spot to follow through from the Rolling Thunder.
Absolutely not. You're seeing the highlights of that last fight as well. And props to ATF. He did manage to survive quite a bit here in this fight. But Palos coming in, proving to be a little bit much. Mind you, the fact that Crit does secure the kill on Palos is a pretty nice win, I'd argue, for the side of Falcons, at least securing that. The only issue being, again, all these kills are just track kills. So it's just, no matter like how even the fight looks, it just never is. The Shanks now is currently just right behind Skitter. If Skitter has the game sense to realize he's around, and now he does. Of course, Palos does TP in. Spirit Vessel up there, misses the Sprout. Skitter will be able to mantle off the Vessel. No problems for him. He will be able to survive for another day. But certainly the message has been sent. The pressure is not easy.
No, certainly not. And I really appreciate how Execration are playing.
Oh, look at that ward.
Yeah,
look
it's
at that ward.
Such a good one coming out from Shanks. He planted it earlier. He's not relenting. And the way they're clumping up in Execration is just so smart. They're working the map well. Down mid, a little bit of a roll around.
Yeah, Sonic Wave does actually
flips.
connect. Lewis on target every single time as Maureen trying to just remain on the high ground. TP's coming. Lewis, how far will you go for this, sir? The TP away from our Pango. He's actually going to make it out. Maureen will survive. Meanwhile, Skitter, he was chased for a moment here by Shanks, but he'll be okay as well. Issue being, though, he can't really stick around to farm this top lane.
No. Again, they've been applying that pressure really nicely on the side of Execration. Looking bot.
They are. Bottom lane, some action to break out as ATF looking to fight back against Lewis. They'll hold him down with the shackles, with the serpent. What's going? Lewis should be going, though. No! The blink away. He's going to barely make it in time. ATF is already gone. Crit will try to TP, but they've got the stun. They'll take down Crit with him. 13-4 with a 4K advantage. Currently the way of Execration, and I guess I'll be the guy that kind of looks at the brighter side for Falcons, John.
Sure.
Considering you're up against the bounty, a 5K net worth lead, it's not really that bad.
No, it's certainly not too bad. I think when you look at the grand picture of things, you look at your own timings, you look at the draft you have, you know, it's going to take some time to get going. You can have some faith. You've bought some space out for Skitter. He's not the one dying. He's the one scaling into the late game. Amar dying doesn't really mind because he wants to tank up anyhow, soak all of that attention on himself, and he's getting that slower build-up into his full pipe anyhow. So you're not too bad off here for Falcons. Execration, though, are just not relenting. Another smoke out, trying to go on the hunt, not quite playing under their ward. They do walk past that point, but they also understand the assignment. They can't stop being aggressive. They have to keep that tempo up. They are hitting some spikes. You are going to get a Manta up on Palos soon as well to have some sort of Dispel on hand. And again, the ore is still slowly being built up here by Tino. I think this timing into a Crimson Guard is actually where it gets pretty dangerous for the side of Falcons. Having that big damage block is going to be an issue.
CML maybe a bit too far forward. Should be going down pretty quickly. I say quickly, though. He's healing through it. He's actually survived. For now, his team finally grouping up to try and take this fight as ATF now being dragged to the wall. Sonic Wave will be thrown out, though. ATF going to be perfectly fine, but Maureen in pretty big trouble. Does go down. Now Palos, he'll move in, but he's been shackled up by Crit, holding him back. They'll take Crit down by the looks of it, as they'll continue to chase for a little bit more. Lewis looking for Snake. Snaking will pop the shallow grave, but now ATF could be in a bit of danger if they want to dive, that is, but they will not. Another good set of events, though, for the side of Exa. They just are unrelenting.
That they are, and again, there's a lack of damage right now on the side of Falcons. You see how long it takes to get on top of CML. He does have the Holy Locket, he does have a little bit of a Pavise as well. Just a level 1 untouchable, but...
Oh, ATF! He tries to go for the D ward here, but it may cost him heavily. He's got snaking around though. And he's a lot tankier than he used to be on this Bristleback. He's okay. The Blade Mail causing them a few issues here though. Execration, never mind. It wears off, they run right in. No problem, we can wait, they say. Song committed, Skitter, it's a very nice setup, but Maurine's not here and ready for it. Nothing to follow up with. They'll just take the fight. Serpentward's dropped a try for Lewis, but a back in. Lewis still dropping pretty damn low. He can't get the blink away. He will drop. Crit, meanwhile, surely will go down, and he does too. But they've got Lewis down. It's a good start for Falcons. They'll keep the fight going. D-Ward's out. ATF, he'll frontline. Sprout out there. He's got to be a little bit cautious, but the Blade Mail will allow him some security. As ATF, maybe he's gone a bit too far. He'll put his back forward, but it won't matter. He is down. The Skitter on a Palos now. Palos, he's in a corner, but he doesn't mind. Skitter's stuck with him by the looks of it. He'll go for a run. The Palos is coming. Even Roshan almost getting involved. Poor old Skitter. It looks like he might just get away. But Shank's probably just going to continue chasing him down. And with that, another pretty successful team fight, I want to say, for Execration.
This time a little bit more bloodied on the nose, right? Like they lose Lewis, that's a huge streak they gave away. A really good reveal on that Orchid timing that we were seeing here from Skitter catching the Quap off guard. Nothing defensive up here for the Quap as well to try to dispel that off. So you do have to be a little bit more cautious now with your aggression on Lewis. You have to watch yourself up there. He is working into a Conda, which is, it's pretty good because of the break.
Oh, yes.
Right? It does have the break here. You want a way to break Amar, and that will get the job done. Not very common nowadays, but it does have that added benefit now.
It makes sense. I like it. See if you can find it. I mean, with the aggression, if they can keep it up, it seems like at least the phylactery will be up pretty quickly.
Yeah. And even the phylactery alone is still kind of annoying. It's a little bit
so
more
annoying.
slow. You know, it's a little bit easier if a chase for the bounty hunter to find his mark. I do like as well that the free shard goes onto Shanks, so he's got that friendly shout out to toss onto people. Just more ways to try to save, and that is just a lot more utility, a lot more resources. Again, you have to reinvest here in Falcons to find some of these sneaky heroes walking around with a bounty hunter.
Oh, Falcons, they've got plenty of experience, John. I'm sure they'll know how to make a comeback here in this game one. They are 10k behind, but as you saw, if they get one good team fight, the game feels like it just completely flips on its head. And that's all they need. One solid team fight. Here we go. Execration and Falcons smoked up right around each other. Snaking's going to be spotted. That's the primary target. That's the one they really want to start with. And poor old Snaking is certainly dying first. As everybody else on Falcons, they will dissipate. Maureen trying to stick around for a power rune, can't do it. It's going to be another one for Lewis. And if you're Execration, you might start considering Roshan.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the damage to kind of deal with it. You have done a great job in Execration to, again, just manage this map, keep that aggression going. 10k lead, 22 minutes in, 19-7. I don't know how many people had that much faith in Execration, but they are showing up.
Well, there was one guy.
There was one guy.
I don't know who it was, though. We'll ask Nomad later.
Yeah, we'll ask Nomad. Oh, yeah, he had some choice words there. You know, I would love to hang on here for the post game. What are you saying about the Exa boys? Exa shot?
It's all right. That's all right.
It happens. It happens. It's all good. Rochan going their way as well. No issue. And Falcons, it just goes back to what this draft does, right? You've got Nagasarn, you've got Bristleback, you've got Pangolier. You don't have that synergy with Song outside of resetting. You need so much more time for the Naga and the Bristleback as well to become monsters, even as Pangolier to an extent would say the eventual Ags build-up. You just need a lot of space, and Execration are not really giving you too much space. They've just been relentless.
Yeah. But they're not, the Falcons are nowhere near out of the game.
No, not yet.
23 minutes in, 10k advantage. Not the biggest deal. Skitter's now got the full Bloodthorn up on the Naga Siren. There is a point, Lewis getting caught with a nice rolling thunder here from Maureen. They won't fully commit though. In fact, now the turnaround here onto the side of Falcons is ATF already taking a fair bit of damage. Now the back wall out onto two. Maureen copping the Sonic Wave. Maureen's gone. Tips out from Lewis. Return the favor. Snaking also in danger. Will Shallow Grave himself, but now they can just focus down ATF as Snaking. He'll just be chased down by Tino. ATF trying to just run north, but Lewis will not leave him alone. And a poor old ATF is gonna die as Shanks will take another 3 for the price of nothing. And I'll be frank, Falcons, like, it almost felt a little bit split up, that team fight. Like they seemed a bit indecisive. Like, do we want to jump in and kill Lewis? Do we not want to do it? I think
they had to hard commit, right? Like, if you're going to make that move into the squap, you have to take that window because you're still right next to a teleportation point. Tier 1 mid still standing at 24 minutes in. The response is quick from the side of Execration. And this is a very well-timed usage of the Ghost Scepter coming in. Just enough damage being blocked, just enough of a safety net for Lewis to back off and reset. And then that connection comes in. Again, they have the control, they have that mobility on the side of Execration. And they have that teamfight potential. Vac Wall, Sonic Wave on top. They've got the Sprout to block off areas. They've got the track to keep, well, track of everyone. Get the pickoffs. It's just easier to soft commit on Execration than it is for Falcons.
Certainly is. More kills coming out by the looks of it. They are going. Palos, just look at the damage output. Crit. They'll save with the song. Skidder allowing him a way to get out of here, but Palos, it's kind of uncontestable right now on this this Nature's Prophet, just hitting like an absolute truck. Falcons, props to them. They haven't really flinched too much quite yet. They're holding on. It's a tough, tough game. I'll repeat though, one good team fight is really all they need for this game to flip on its head. It's just finding that team fight. You're just trying to force an error from Execration, it feels like, at this point.
That you are. I think where it gets a little bit dicey for Execration is that high ground fight. The high ground defense of Falcons is pretty damn strong.
Malrine, he's trying to go for Shanks, but he doesn't realize Palos is right around the corner. He'll try to just roll out of there, but it's not going to work out. Oof. Too much damage from Palos. And they're going to keep going, even mid lane, just poking at ATF. Palos ready with the TP whenever. But you want to play with the full squad. They'll wait it out. And Palos, he just moves into the high ground.
Yeah.
No creeps, no nothing.
Yeah, still a minute 40 on the Aegis. Force out the fortify a little bit earlier as well. Get some healing out to sustain the siege creep. They're going to be able to eat through that tower. And then for Falcons, this is where they can be strong, but they don't have Song for some time here. They don't have a free reset to try to force this fight. It's going to be difficult to look for that angle in here.
ATF. So scary for ATF. He's trying his best to force them back a little bit, but proving to be very difficult. It's a nice back now from Tino, finding the dazzle. Snake King will run, but he's already popped the shallow grave, and, well, he will barely make it out. But that Rax, there is seemingly no saving this bottom Rax. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Execration just say, let's go for more.
Yeah.
Keep going.
They still have some time in that Aegis, still a minute left. Could go for mid. Top could use a little bit of shove as well. No.
Oh, Palos gets hexed up. This will be a big one if they can find him. He does have an Aegis, though, keep in mind, as Tino. He'll heal him up with the Guardian Greaves. Palos will lose the first life, but here comes the cavalry. Tino, he's going to go down. Maybe Falcons. Maybe this is the fight they wanted. They'll get another hex on Palos, and Falcons have got him. Falcons have got him. This is a big one. Lewis also called out. Oh, no. Execration. It was so clean for the last 27 minutes, but one team fight, John. Suddenly you got to blink on the shaman. Suddenly Crit can initiate.
Yeah.
Lewis isn't safe anymore.
They were very split apart there as well from Execration. I think the two cores were stuck in that bot Rax area while the supports were exiting through mid. They were already running into the mid lane, into the mid Rax and trying to bail out. That separation cost the side of Execration a good swing back for Falcons. 4K gold swing overall.
That's big.
Coming out for them. And that puts them right back in the running. There's still an 11K advantage for Exa, but some of that momentum has been held back. At the least, the next Roshan is still some time off. There are some simple objectives for them to find on Falcons. This mid-tier 1 has been something that's been unwelcome for a little bit too long. They should be able to clean up.
Oh, Skidder, he's going to find himself a freebie here in CML. Shanks can do nothing, and you can see the immediate switch in attitudes here from the side of Falcons. They realize now they can finally venture out into the map. Crit even having a 4-staff now after that blink, so just, again, just all the gold influx going the right way, and the added utility could be very scary for Execration now going to that next team fight. Suddenly Skidder looked like a real problem on this Naga Siren as well. I don't know if Palos can actually just stand there and man fight him any longer. Could be very intimidating for him.
And it is. They do need some BKBs up. You're working onto one for Palos. You need something defensive here as well for Lewis down the line. He is going for the Shivas first, but ideally I think you'd want something to at least prevent you from just being chain stunned here from all of that control coming out from Falcons. They've been very disciplined with how they get that chain control out, how they're staggering with the Blood Torn, with the Hex, with the Shackles. They have been pretty darn good at maximizing there. Bit of a smoke out from Execration that was under a ward, I do believe, the tail end of it. So they should be well aware in Falcons and might not lead to too much for Exa. Again, the more time you waste here, the better it is for Falcons. You're scaling into late game. You've got a Nullifier coming out for Skitter. You've got the full Ags, just 900 gold away now for Mallory. And you've got the Aura build-up on Amar, slowly but surely coming online, still trying to get into the pipe. But even this Lotus alone that he had earlier on is already slowing things down for Exa quite a fair bit. So Exa has to find a way to put that pressure back, right? Like, get that forward vision going again. They have some more defensive wards in comparison to what we were seeing a few minutes ago, watching their own side of the river. They need to be able to find angles back to Falcons while they're trying to work the map.
See what they do. Falcons for now, happy to just continue the farm game for themselves. Execration not looking to slow down too much, but they've certainly lost a lot of momentum here. They'll head up towards the top lane, maybe start to work on towards that tier 2 top tower. Maybe even just go through the twin gates and see if they can hunt down this Dazzle of snaking, which is eventually going to get found out by Palos, I believe. And he will see him. Snaking. We'll find out the hard way. So he does get a quick Shallow Grave off.
Aww.
Palos, unable to get the job done in time. Very quick.
They really need something to stop these TPs as well, just outside of going out of Shadow Walk. Now that's been one thing that's been very consistent as well for Falcons. Kind of reminiscent of some of the issues we were seeing from Talon in the last series, where they did lack hard control. That's the one thing that's kind of giving Falcons this window. Like, you waste time trying to chase the Dazzle, you're not getting the farm you'd want. You're opening up the map once more for the rest of the course on Falcons to start to play this catch-up game, lead down to just 6K now for
ATF.
Exec.
They're going to try for the Bristle. He's not as easy as he used to be to take down, though. Palos will move in. ATF already committed that Blade Mail, so they have no issues, and in fact, he's not too hard either. ATF.
They have the Conda.
They absolutely do have the Conda. Well, there you go. They've got the answer for that Bristleback. Falcons could not react in time, so a quick pick-off here from Execration, and they're on to the Outpost.
Yeah. Nice quick form as well.
Torment. Excuse me, I said Outpost, didn't I? I'm getting old, John.
Yeah, you are getting old. It's been a while since we had those.
Thank God they got removed.
Yeah. Do get that free shard on good old CML, so now the Sproink as well, making the Enchantress a little bit more annoying to catch out. And that's the kind of move we were looking for, right? Look for someone isolated, put that pressure on, take back control on the map. Roshan, not too far off now as well. Going to be the next focal point for both sides. And again, Execration are back in form. Just smoking up, keeping that pressure going here, trying to keep bringing that fight to Falcons.
Oh, here we go. Shanks has been forced forward here by Crit, but a big back wall.
Oh.
Tino found 3 of them. Shanks is down. You went out the trucks coming in, but the Sonic Wave to fly out. Skitter's in big trouble, but he'll get the song off in time.
But Palos?
Skitter's still in big trouble though. Palos trying to chase him down for the damage output. Can't quite get there. They'll leave Malrine behind. Malrine surely set to fall. Skitter's moving back in though. Maybe they can keep this fight going as Palos is dropping a little bit low, but he TP's out of there for a reset. Meanwhile, ATF back into the fight. Snaking will go down to Tino as well. ATF still going, trying to deal with this Darkseid, but he can't really do so as Skitter being chased now by Tino. Palos incoming as well. ATF just trying to kill CML. They will get him, but Skitter might be dying as a sacrifice for that kill, and they do find him. Execration paying Falcons back, and well, the state of the game, it almost feels like it just went back to what it was.
And it does. It's back to the 13K lead for the side of Execration. Very well-timed BKB usage out from Palos, although
that's a big one. He's got no BKB available. Shackles will hold him down. ATF trying to get the damage output out. Palos going to go for a run. We'll get the sprout off, but he's been sprouted himself. He needs some help ASAP. Here comes Lewis. They're going to be there in time. Broken? The break is there, and ATF, he is just a sponge as Crit is in trouble. Crit regretting, following his call into this fight. He will die now, even Snaking.
Oh no.
One by one they come, but one by one they fall.
Not like this.
Not like this, indeed, Jonathan, as Execration onto the tier 3 tower. Racks to be taken surely, if they have the chance. And Malrine, he is there to try and deal with the creep wave, but I wouldn't risk it.
No. It's a rough game for Falcons. They work so well when they manage to use all their heroes together. When they start splitting apart, that's where Execration shines. This is what the draft does. And I think, again, this pickup of the Conda, just very clever coming out from Shanks. That break, you have nothing to do on Amar. Lotus doesn't really do much. It doesn't matter if you get a reflected back here.
And there goes that pulse, John.
Yeah, well,
There goes that pulse.
I mean, it's still an expensive item. No one's rushing this. Anyone with common sense wouldn't rush that, at the very least. Not like before, when you'd get your Sniper Conda builds. It's not as crazy now.
You tell my pub teammates that, John.
Oh.
Jump in, Lewis.
Oh.
They're going to find Skidder. That'll be a big one as a Sonic Wave just doing so much. And the Spirit Vessel also there, but they can't follow up. Skidder will make it out. But my goodness, it's just so intimidating just how much damage is being dealt just purely through Lewis and Palace's ulti. Very scary indeed. Roshan to go down as well once again for Exa as they hold a 21k net worth lead. And as I always like to say, John, it is currently their game to throw.
That it is. And I suppose that's also one thing you can't take away from Execration or Southeast Asia. The potential to,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, just ruin your own game.
No sugarcoating that, John.
The potential to put it in the bin, as some would say. Got you with that one. But yeah, look, they are in a good spot. 31 to 13, 21k. No one, I don't think, coming in would expect Execration to perform this way. But you know what? Again, this is a team that can make things go if they play their own style, and this is their style.
Skidder. They'll ignore it. No, they're moving in. They couldn't believe what they saw for a second there. Skidder. They'll drop the wall on him. Sonic Wave out as well. Skidder's alive though. He's perfectly fine. Is he dull at CML, but not so fine anymore by the looks of it. As here comes the cavalry, but they'll try to jump Tino. Tino being shackled up will go down. Crit. He'll get the force up down to the lower ground, so Lewis can't finish him off as Palos now joining the fight, but he's a bit late to the party. He'll move on to Snaking. Snaking in trouble. Snaking for the TP out. Will be able to barely make it. So a nice fight now for Falcons. 2-for-1 special. They only lose Crit. Skidder though, he's still in the mix, but the TP away should be enough.
Yeah, do bail out, and they do find some good pickups there. Tino maybe a bit hasty with that ball, though.
Malreen's still around. Just look at the damage. Amp damage picked up. Won't really matter, of course.
Lewis is feeling it now.
Lewis will tip Palos. They want top lane. They're moving top. TP's out. ATF not safe on the map.
Not Amar.
Not Amar.
$2,000, man.
When they've got to keep the prices up, John. ATF. TP away. He can't do it though. He's going to go down a boot.
Maybe not this replay, Amar. Maybe not this replay. But you got, again, Execration, they're playing it well. I think that early move as well, when they forced the song in the Roche fight, just made it so awkward for Skidder to kind of look for that re-engage with the song on cooldown. You just don't have that free reset. So finding the angle is pretty awkward. It's pretty hard to figure out when you want to take that fight. They still have the Aegis for some time here as well. Fairly fresh at 2 minutes 50
Palos.
left.
Palos is just
He's been on point, man.
He's in bully mode now. He's in bully mode.
You know what this reminds me of? Palos when he substituted for Fnatic back in ESL 1 Genting.
Yeah.
That's the form we're seeing.
Tino. A bit of danger. Skidder doing plenty of damage. Tino, he's got a BKB up though. He'll be fine to surge away. Final racks of the game for Falcons. They've got to find a way to protect this. It's pretty hard though. Roshan ban has been dropped. You've got to commit somehow. Malreen, he'll move in with the Rolling Thunder, trying to find the backline, but he's only really found Tino here on the Darks here. Maybe he can take him down, but the heals do come out. Tino's fine. Meanwhile, Palos just holding the front. He's still got the Aegis up, so he doesn't mind. He'll pop the Satanic. Still going here, Palos. He's just holding everybody else back. They'll deal with Malreen. Here comes Palos again, and now a big Sonic Wave out from Lewis, landing on 3 targets. Skidder, how do you fight this one out? He'll pop the song, chase down Palos, make it a 3v1, but Palos will just force staff away. They're still chasing, but how deep are they willing to go? Lewis, he's jumped on a crit. Crit is gone. Palos now man fighting Skidder. Skidder trying to move in for the Satanic, making it hard. Skidder, can he do it? Lewis there as well. Surely they've got him. Skidder trying to retrieve, trying to remove himself, and he does this. Palos will actually just TP out. Skidder's still in danger. Wall has been dropped. Surely he's down. Here comes Palos. He'll find a kill. Snaking to boot. Malreen is the only man left standing, but they'll buy back on Snaking as Malreen will go down, and GG is called. Execration taking game number 1 up.
One build is insane. You eventually hit the point where You should be able to get yourself the Blink Blade Mail as well, not the Vanguard, and you are kind of fine overall in just scaling up. But a little bit of an early group up.
Stun out onto CML. CML going to look to retreat to the north, but a nice glimpse back into the disruption though of Shanks. They can't take him down, and now Skitter's the one in trouble. Skitter will go down first. First blood being drawn from Tino. It's Crit, stuck in a corner. Will go down a boot. Palos to pick one up for himself now. Maureen going for more, but he will also drop. And ATF sticking around, but it ends up being a 2-for-3 trade. A double kill for Tino, plus the first blood. You couldn't have really asked for a better start.
No, you really couldn't. And, you know, that's something Southeast Asia loves, doesn't they? A bit of an early scrap. Used to happen a little bit more often, but pans out. Really nice saves to stall that out. That disruption, very key from Shanks to actually give that first blood bonus to their Mars. They will have to go for a bit of a reset. We're seeing some movement back to the fountain here from Execration's end, but they do still come out 2-for-2 on the runes. You're more than happy to take that result. A lot of gold being injected towards Execration. 1,000 gold going their way with 800 going for Falcons. So you'll take it. You're a very happy set. You kind of set your lanes up nicely here. We'll take a look at those lanes as we are looking at mid. You do have that Beastmaster versus Bristleback matchup, and this is a lane matchup that shouldn't be too bad for either side, right? You're going to be able to farm up on both ends. You do have consistent poke from both sides. It is relatively cheap, the Axis and the Quilts, and you should be able to kind of work this lane out here for Maureen. The issue is, it is a melee matchup into Bristleback, so as you walk up to the creeps to farm, you are punished more severely by those Quilts. It is very mana intensive. Runes are going to be really important there. We'll see if they'll have that early movement that we've seen across the map so far. Down bot, of course, you're already seeing some early pressure onto Skitter once more. It is a very basic laning combination. It's Shadow Demon Mars, an old classic. Easy spear setup, a lot of damage comes in. It can be annoying to play into snaking once the decrep is up, sure. There's a lot of physical damage to kind of save you, to save from. But I don't see Tino struggling anytime soon. This is a melee matchup for Mars that feels pretty good. You always have the God's Rebuke to kind of reposition as well. And again, that spear threat later on does provide quite some aggression here down bot if they want to seek that out in Execration.
Certainly so. Well, how's that top lane been going here? I mean, we haven't really had a look at the top lane quite yet. Palos and CML against ATF and Crit, of course. Palos on the safe lane, Quap, as it stands right now. I mean, it works out well enough. ATF, obviously on the Bristleback game last game around, not having the greatest time. Looking to make a much better performance here in this game, number 2. They will try to apply a bit of pressure onto Palos. It seems like they will. He'll force himself back a little bit. Do you like the Pos 5 action? I mean, I'm personally a huge fan.
No, I'm a big believer. I was talking to certain teams about what's been hot, and the Axe is one thing that popped out as a 4-5, which we, again, saw to the road to the Esports World Cup as something that was flexed, and now it's a little bit more popular. This hero just does so much. It doesn't care about all of this damage in lane. It has a lot of HP to play with, a lot of armor with a double ring of protection that CML has worked himself into. And once you hit, say, level 3, level 4, once you have the 1-2-1 at minimum, things can start to get a little bit scary. He can start to dive creep waves. You're a melee core. In the Pangolier, it's a sitting duck to one good call, one good lineup. And you're playing with a Quap. There's a lot of damage in this lane for Execration to leverage. Not as much coming out from Falcon. So again, they have to watch out for these laning weaknesses. That's something Execration identified very early on in the last game. And again, they end up with a lineup that can kind of make use of these weaknesses in the side lanes and the mid lane as well.
Absolutely. Stacks already being made as well by Maureen in the mid lane, as you tend to do. Maureen ensuring that he's going to have himself a good bit of catch-up farm in case things fall a little bit behind. But so far, so good. You have Lewis 5 CS ahead, but it's not too big of a deal. Kind of expected as bottom lane they are trying to keep Tino away here from their Sven. Skitter, he's been having maybe a bit of a slower time, but you kind of anticipate that into the SD and Mars. It definitely can be a little bit scary trying to go too far forward to secure those creeps. It seems like Skitter will play a little bit on the safer end of things. For snaking, can't really do too much if he does get caught as well. They will go for a quick disruption onto Snake. They don't really have a nice spear angle though, so he's going to be just fine.
But they're doing a good job of just zoning out here anyhow. Up top, a little bit of a deep chase. Level 2 Battle of Hunger up.
They'll need another one though. CML might dive, he'll apply it. ATF's going to be there to try and help out. They'll kind of return the favor here towards CML. He might still actually get the kill into this disruptor, to be fair, though. He's still ticking away, but it looks like stick charges will keep him alive, as ATF, in the meantime, will continue the fight against Palos, force them back. And he does indeed ensure the crit does remain alive, just barely.
And he does, but he's going to have to walk back to Fountain and then TP back to lane. It's a lot of time you're surrendering to Palos, to CML, to just kind of do what they want in that lane. The solo Pangalier's not going to feel too comfy, he has to play safe. And again, that just gives the activity out, the tempo out, to Execration to kind of find what they want. Maybe even some room to walk up for, say, the 6-minute rune later on, although it shouldn't take too long to get back into the lane. And so far, a little bit slower after that excitement on that first blood fight. But all lanes kind of going relatively well for Execration. Maybe the mid lane's a little bit more back and forth here for Lewis and Mallory. Not too far behind that Beastmaster still having access to those camps you talked about. Amar has been having that slower game, as he is being poked quite hard up top.
He is being poked very hard, John. ATF still trying to go for the fight. Call is out, though, so he has nothing to really commit. He didn't have any spells off cooldown anyway. Meanwhile, mid, Lewis going to be chased down a little bit here as Malrine and Crit trying to secure a kill onto this Bristleback, but there is some TP rotations coming in from Shanks. Lewis, though, still being slowed down quite nicely by the ball, but a nice disruption from Shanks going to ensure that they can't get the final bit of damage out. So Lewis will survive. Snaking now showing up as well, just chasing down Shanks a little bit. He'll be able to scout out these stacks that were being made in the triangle as well as snaking. Not deciding to back off yet, but eventually will. Of course, wants to ensure the SD is not coming back for these 6-minute power runes.
No. That's one thing as well that Execration was just so clean about. In that last game, they always had rune control. Again, same thing that we were seeing from Talon. The Southeast Asian teams have been emphasizing the mid quite a fair bit. See if they get lucky this time around with spawn.
It is going to be down bottom. CML will chase down Crit. Malrine wasn't even really around the corner. He'll come now and just try to secure the life of this axe. With the glimpse back, they should have it quite nice. CML will go down, and in fact, Snaking picked up the amp damage anyway. So nice power rune denial here from Falcons against Exa. Lewis will get nothing, and it seems like Lewis now going to try and just take these stacks away while he still can. Because they know that Snaking has seen all this. So Falcons are very well aware there's quite a bit of gold here in this Dire Triangle, and Snaking just trying to be an absolute menace with this Nether Blast. Taking a lot of creeps away here from Lewis, even Malrine now intervening. Forcing CML to TP in. Palos also around the corner. He's going to blink right onto Malrine. A big Sonic Wave, finding Crit first. The glimpse back actually saving the life of the Quap. Palos would have died, but the glimpse, a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you get jumped, you're like, I gotta save us from this situation, saves the enemy team instead. You find some good trades out for Exit. Look, you did the damage on Falcons. You did manage to contest the stacks, but you are giving a lot of map space out. That's a lot of recovery space coming out here for Tino to just get what he wants. He get his own Shrine of Wisdom as well. No double Shrines of Wisdom this time, at the very least, for Falcon. So no fast level 6s for the supports, but it's not as pertinent here as it was in the last game. A little bit of a freebie coming out there onto Shanks, just getting dived a bit by Amar. But again, overall, I think Execration are still getting a lot of work out from that movement. Again, Tino's left alone. He has his level 6 up. He's working onto a Blink. There is map pressure coming in from Falcons. You do have the Pugna, of course, on hand with the Nether Blast to kind of speed up a push. But it still feels like Execration are kind of happy, right? Like, they got that early start. They are just looking for levels and starting items to kind of get things going. Once you hit that stride, I'd expect the aggression to kind of stay the same as we've seen from the last game. It's just a matter of when that stride feels comfy for Exit. What are they waiting for? The Maelstrom is going to be one start from Palos. The Blink is going to be the big one, of course, from Tino. And it feels like that's the one thing that's kind of holding back that deeper aggression. It's still relatively early anyhow.
I mean, it's going to be a super aggressive mid-game from both these sides. I mean, with these kind of drafts, that 20-minute mark or so is going to be when both teams are kind of ready to go. I mean, maybe not so much Skidder on the Sven, but the rest of his team certainly is going to want to make some plays. And, of course, Execration with their draft, not going to want to be sitting back past that 20-minute mark and farming too much. As you want to start applying that momentum ASAP. Skidder will clear out the way, rather the stacks in the triangle.
Bottom tower is under attack.
WS currently sitting at the top of the net worth board on this Mars, which isn't overly surprising considering he got a double kill plus the first blood. The thing is, though, WS, in my opinion, arguably... What is it?
You said WS.
Oh, I did say WS.
I know. You know, WS is a good Mars player. Now, who's biased with Talon, right?
Oh,
Who's
shut up, John. You know the worst part? You sat there smiling at me, letting me continue talking and saying WS 3 times before you said, hey, by the way, it's Tina.
You were flowing, you know. I was like, is he going to say it again?
No, you were
then
enjoying
I was like,
yourself.
Yes.
No, you
I
were
was also enjoying myself, but that's besides the point. But yeah, you know, it's been doing great.
Well done, John. Well done. You've done it again.
Off the first blood. And now he's just about 600 gold away, 500 gold away at this point for that blink. And again, that's the timing for Exit to start things going. I think if you're on Falcons, you're happy enough with all of the space being given out to Skitter. Like, he is working up. He has one of the 3 items we tend to see from Sven before he's active. Execration are not waiting around out. They're smoked. They have that arena ready, and they want to take mid.
Alreen could be a bit problematic, though. He's around the corner. Will reveal himself. The numbers here, though, Execration. 10-minute power rune about to spawn up. That's what they're going to try and use as bait. Tino has the arena ready. Haste rune has been dropped, and in fact, they don't bother. Fair enough, maybe just not wanting to go for the harder kill on the Beastmaster, which could have ended up in a bit of a disaster here as Malreen gets right back into the triangle. Back to the farm game for him. And he is now top of the net worth board as well in this piece, which is pretty damn good news if you're Falcons.
That it is. The early tempo from the timing on Ags, we've seen time and time and again, is not to be underestimated. That damage output is pretty high. I think for the side of Execration, allowing this free farm game to go while using that time and space to group up and try to smoke and not find anything is damaging some of that map efficiency here. Not that you have the most farm-heavy heroes, mind. The most farm-heavy is likely just Lewis on that Bristle anyhow. But they are starting to ramp up now on Falcons. Right? Again, the item timings we're looking at, Skitter here are lining up. The Ags is just basically one part away now for Malreen. And that's when things really start to get going. For Execration, at least, again, there's some times you'd want to wait for on your supports. If they can start to work into, say, the Blink Vanguard here for CML, you start to get some initiation angles out that way, plus that blink on Dino.
They got the blink on Tino.
Then the timings are there. They can constantly try to force that pressure. They're not fully committing from mid.
Palos is very deep. Static Storm's going to be dropped right on top of his head. Palos needs a bit of time to get rid of this kinetic field, and oh, he kind of just ran the wrong way. Unfortunate. Palos, very deep, assuming they couldn't really deal with him, and well, that's a big kill here for Skitter. He'll be very happy with that. In the meantime, Execration trying for that mid-tier 1 tower, but Malreen is making life very difficult. He will show himself, though. There's plenty of heroes around this area, but Execration looks like they're kind of doubting themselves as to whether they actually want the fight. And the answer kind of feels like a no until Palos is back up. You'd just be lacking so much damage.
But he's not too far off. Does have the TP ready, and again, they still have that blink reveal on Tino waiting. He's been very patient in the shadows here, not showing up too much.
Gets the Invis rune. ATF going to use the Rolling Thunder. Meanwhile, CML already dropping very low on this axe. Should be going down. We're all committed onto the SD. Arena dropped as well. Sonic Wave connecting with the 2 targets. Crit will drop. Malreen in big trouble. They'll get the ethereal form out though from Snaking. Meanwhile, ATF jumping in onto Tina with a great Stormhammer setup from Skitter. Landing on 2 targets. A great fight for Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great read from Execration to try to force the fight while Static Storm is down. Just not the initiation angles I think they were looking for. A little bit split apart. Some focus near the rune area, some focus onto the mid-river area, directly on mid.
Lewis, he's going to be okay. No real threat for him at the moment, but again, Falcons certainly in a very nice position now. Skitter finding himself top of the net worth. Malreen just behind him on the Beastmaster. Everything just going swimmingly at the moment as Execration is still trying to apply this pressure into the mid-tier 1 tower, but they just don't have the numbers anymore.
No. They have to kind of sit back and wait. Like, you're not in fighting form yet for Lewis to be fully online. He is going back for the Sanjin Yasha, still lacking the Yasha into the BKB. And once you get that BKB plus your Shard, that's when things can maybe start to simplify. Your presence in the arena is a lot better to play with. Your follow-through is a little bit cleaner. Again, when you think about the teamfight potential from Falcons as well, I mean, the Static Storm is just going to ruin you every single time. And now they do have that full Ags up and running as well on Malreen. So the damage is there. They're going to try to make it work with a smoke, see if they find an angle. They don't have the most aggressive vision on hand. They do have one on the top jungle, but no one's really hanging around that area.
I mean, we know where ATF is. He's currently just chasing down Palos. There's one hero they can aim down. ATF going to try for a Rolling Thunder. Disruption will cancel though from Shanks, and ATF sadly not going to find the time to get that Rolling Thunder off. Nice pickup here for the side of Exa.
Yeah, and again, that also allows him to dodge out the smoke. Wrong position coming out for Falcons. They will manage to steal away a Shrine of Wisdom, which is a nice little win for them. A little bit more EXP again to these supports, getting some key spells up and running. But it doesn't feel like they're also just outfarming the side of Execration at this point. Net worth lead around 1K, not too much to speak of, although.
They are going to find the SD. A nice pickup here from Falcons. Malrine will take that one for himself as Tino. He's in the corner right now. They'll glimpse him back. And Malrine very happy now with a double kill on this Beastmaster. Falcons really, really kind of just proving they're not going to have a rerun of that game one.
Nah, they're certainly finding some way to bite back here onto Execration. And for Execration's part, it's not the same lineup as it was in the last game, right? Like, it's not the same story with a bounty hunter, with a global presence of Nature's Prophet, where you're always constantly on the hunt. There has to be some tempo coming out here from Exa. A little bit more measured movement out, a little bit more patience coming out to wait for some of those key items to be up. And they are getting the space out. Like, Palos does have the full Maelstrom, slowly working onto the Mjolnir. You've got yourself that BKB being worked on, one part in now for Tino. And Lewis, again, just managed to finish up the full Sanj and Yasha. Needs the BKB and Shard to really get things going. So the puzzle isn't fully set yet. It's not kind of set to be solved just yet by Execration. It's Falcons that I think really want to take advantage here. As, again, the Ags timing out for Malrine's big. He's going into his own BKB spikes. You've got the Blink slowly coming together for Skitter. And the damage output of this Fen, they have no easy answers for here on the side of Execration. They'll find a mid-tier one that they've been posturing for a while. But it just doesn't feel like you have clean opportunities. They'll try with a smoke, though.
Not willing to dive the tier 2, but they could run into that triangle and find Skitter. Instead, they're going to head up towards the top lane. You'll find at least Crit there and Snaking, so the support duo maybe just set to fall as Tino immediately just dropped the arena. Palos also going to run into the Pugner. Can they stop the TP? They cannot. Unable to make it in time, but they will walk away with at least the pulse for disruptor kill. Lewis also intervening here with Skitter's farm. Try to bully him out of the triangle, but Skitter's already got all the farm he could ask for. Here is Lewis. Looks to back off. Actually juked out that stun, I do believe, with the illusions. Skitter in big trouble. Lewis, he does take him out. Lewis with a very nice dodge on the illusion. Trying to run. Will maybe make it out. ATF, they're going to cut him off with a Rolling Thunder. Lewis should be set to fall here, and eventually they will get him. Tino as well, not going to be escaping as Falcons. They will lose their carry, but they'll get a lot for it.
Yeah, very worthwhile for the side of Falcons, of course. Roshan still doesn't take too long, even without the Sven, as you have that output with Malrina on hand. But I've got to say, very cheeky out from Lewis. He didn't even pop his Warpath active without seeing red. He just had enough output with quite a fair bit of viscous nasal glue coming in. That Sven just gets ripped to shreds. Still, first ages of game heading up to Malrine very early on. You still are in control of this game here for the side of Falcons. 13-10, 4K up. And
look at this Duke of the Stormhammer. Boom.
Yep.
Beautiful.
But look at his damage. Just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It doesn't matter though at the end. Lewis, he gets the kill on the carry, but ultimately the rest of the team just ends up dying afterwards anyway. So not really a bad deal for Falcons at all, really.
No, maybe just a little bit too split apart again from Execration. We saw them posturing. They were trying to make that move in. But Lewis was just a little bit early taking that opportunity out, and it does cost him in the end. 13-10, 5K lead still standing for Falcons off of that Aegis here. As the side of Execration, again, it's just a matter of slowing this game down a bit. They've almost got the full Mjolnir up on Palos, and once you hit that point with the static active, it's just going to be a lot more damage to play with, and I think that's something that the side of Falcons will have to be mildly concerned about, as they are going on a little bit of a hunt. Malrine again, ready, set to go. Does have his BKB flying out now as well, I believe, and that is just, again, more challenges for Execration. They don't have an easy way to go through the debuff immunity outside of a good call. And as at this moment, it's been a little bit rough for CML to find those calls to set up for the team here.
Oh, that it is. That it is. The Falcons, again, smoked up. Not going to find any pickoffs down at this bottom side of the map. Execration currently just sticking as 4 up at top. Malrine is getting just absolutely massive with this Beastmaster now, looking for the blink next. I mean, he's the real problem right now. Like Skidder, you saw he's not really that big of a deal at the moment, but Malrine is certainly the kind of pseudo carry at the moment for this stage of the game, and he's the guy you have to really worry about. See how they try to deal with him too, because it's just very hard to burst him down with that Drums of Slom up.
Feels like it has to kind of go down to Lewis being able to focus in on that Beastmaster. Like, all your damage is mainly on this Bristleback. The issue is trying to catch them together. I think Execration has been showing a little bit more promise in pickoffs. Again, similar to Game 1, it's been a little bit rougher to take the 5v5s. And again, they kind of need more time to farm. Like, these BKBs have to be online here for Execration as well. They need that protection from the Static Storm.
Lewis gonna get caught. Big jump in from Skidder. Malrine with the raw setup as well, and Lewis immediately bursted down here from Falcons. They go for more. They'll find Shanks eventually, and Crit. He'll check, just in case. And they'll find him. 2 for nothing. It's Falcons now. It's not stopping. No need to stop.
No. They've got the map under their control. They've got a Tormentor to take. They've got really good wards to watch around. A wider range of the map than you do on Execration. A little bit lacking in aggressive vision here for Exe, as they are just looking to play it safe. See who does get this lucky shard coming out from the 20-minute mark. Is going to go to Snaking. So a little bit more coming out there with the life drain on the ward. Just more presence coming out here from that Pugna. For Execration, again, it's just a matter of waiting out BKBs. You're just a recipe away now on Tino. You are still 2 parts away for Paulus, which is a little bit more painful. And Lewis as well is a little bit far behind. Until this triple BKB timing is online, you're not going to be able to get too much out there.
Absolutely not. Thank you, Crit. No, Falcons. Still a minute 20 on the Aegis. I mean, they've already got plenty of value out of that Aegis anyway with their skills onto Lewis up the top, and maybe they could try to force one more fight around this Shrine of Wisdom. Doesn't really seem like Execration are going to be there anyway.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They'll just take it for free. 8k advantage now, the way of Falcons. And at this point, with this kind of draft from Execration, like, you've fallen so far behind. How do you even make the comeback back into the game?
It's just, again, a matter of patience, a matter of looking for those openings. I think overall, you shouldn't be too worried about being extremely outscaled on Execration. We've seen the Bristleback Sven before. Bristleback can come out on top depending on how you kind of take these fights. The issue is just looking for these team fights is a little bit harder. Again, you're very reliant on Tino to land a good arena. It is a little bit easier now with his own BKB up, but again, you're looking at some BKB timings being online as well for Falcons. Fresh BKB for Skidder, fresh BKB for Malrine. So whether or not you can get that control remains to be seen. Falcons are still ready. They don't have too much time in the Aegis, so you did manage to dodge that out on the side of Execration quite nicely, but they got value. 8k up from the start of around, what, 4 to 6k earlier on. Doubling that net worth advantage is huge.
Oh, Skidder finding another big target. Palos going to try with the Sonic Wave, but can't do it. Another great kill. The side of Falcons. Skidder takes down Palos along with Crit. Falcons, I mean, they're just looking for towers now. Just
Lewis?
take objectives. Lewis also caught out here. Skidder and Malrine not done yet. Lewis hanging around that northern part of the map will get caught. Meanwhile, the Static Storm going to catch at least one, but the glimpse back into the Static Storm for Shanks. And poor old CML, he's not going anywhere either. Or does he? Well, I doubt it. He's gone.
Oh.
4 down. Tino!
Ooh.
Tino's jumped in. But it's against 5 heroes basically here, Tino. It's a bit scary, sir. Pop his BKB and run.
Yeah, a little bit rough. He missed the God's Rebuke as well in that jump in, so he couldn't really look for that burst play. And Execration, it's starting to look a little bit, maybe a bit desperate. You know, they're looking for these opportunities, taking fights that maybe they shouldn't be forcing too hard. They're not getting that impact they'd expect out yet from Palos. Still needs more time. These BKBs have to be online. That's their big weakness. They're just very susceptible to that jump in on Falcons. They don't have enough of those BKBs up yet. Just the one on Tino. And again, it just needs time and space right now in Execration. For Falcons, they've been doing the right thing. They've been responding. They've been the aggressors. We were saying that this is something they needed to do from game 1 into game 2, where they kick up the pace a bit, and they certainly have. We're seeing a lot more presence out from Skitter on his Fen. We're seeing a lot of output coming through from Malrine as well. And it just doesn't feel like, for Execration, that you can really do much beyond just farm. Farm, wait, get those BKBs, maybe even try to work your way into more utility out on CML, because it does feel like with those BKBs on Falcons, a blink call is going to do a big difference on Execration if they can get a blink going on the sacks.
It's going to take a while, I think. He's going. He's trying. At the very least, Falcons, where you're just sitting back, but they've got a 14, 15k advantage. All 3 cores of Falcons at the top of the net worth board. Skitter completely out of control, obviously, and he's just about to finish that Daedalus 2 on the spin, which is when things start to get really, really silly with the damage output of this hero. I highly doubt you're going to have any problems bursting down any of these heroes on Execration once the Daedalus is up. I mean, he's already just getting through them real quick anyway. ATF very confidently just farming the bottom lane right in front of the tier 2 tower. Just knowing they can't really do anything about it. CML will run into him, but ATF just a quick blink towards the south. Will be just fine. Meanwhile, Execration trying to look for a play up top lane. I don't even know if they can risk if it's snaking. Just too risky to try and blink in and make a play even on the supports right now for Execration.
Yeah. Just lacking a little bit of control. Again, their vision on the map isn't that clean as well. They'll try with smoke, but they don't have that forward reach. They don't have vision across the river. It's going to be hard to look for that one target they want here. But they have to start getting that ball rolling. They do have the BKBs up on all of their cores. So this is do or die. This is when that investment, that time has to pay off. Maybe they can get a good jump. If they could wind their way into the triangle onto Skitter, that could be a start.
Well, they're going to find Crit first. Crit in a good position to break the smoke, but Tino did jump in. Not finding Skitter though as he blinked away. Crit will be the sacrificial lamb. Skitter, he wants to rejoin. He'll go in for a quick CML kill, looking for Shanks now. In fact, they found Palos as well. ATF with a double. Looking for more. We'll run into Lewis. Lewis does not look like he's making it out though. No, he has a BKB up. He'll make his way out that way, but they're still chasing him down. Skitter has another blink available, looking for the stun, but it's a little bit on the earlier side. But still, Decrepify out now. Snaking still continuing the chase, but it won't matter. He will make it. They don't need it though. Falcons they're just so far ahead. You know, just it's one of those games where it's like just don't make any mistakes.
Yeah. Don't give opportunities out to the side of Execration. Execration are the ones that are falling a little bit short of the mark. You know, that jump forward from Tino, not being able to instantly go for a God's Rebuke, trying to go for the Spear, try to stop the blink. Missing out on that instant control onto Skitter. Does miss that opportunity. And they are getting started on the Roche as well with a little bit of a siege out from Pugna on top. Another secondary life for Malrine and a banner on top. The high ground becomes a very real possibility. You don't have that map control left for the side of Execration, even top tier 2 just having to be denied off. Again, that's them waiting for these BKB spikes. At this point, I'm not sure how you kind of take this. You've got to be able to take these pickoff games that they've done in the last game. Like, look for pickoffs, look for someone scattered around the map, trying to get greedy, trying to work that map space somehow, and kind of feed off of that. With the net worth difference, you have a simple kill on a support at this point would be quite substantial here for Execration.
Palos going to be a little bit careful, blinking in very aggressively onto Malrine. The Falcons, they have a pretty good read that there's a lot of heroes here from Execration. They do look to retreat. You know, has the full Daedalus up now. ATF down bottom, that's the one they'll try to hunt down with a nice arena spear set up from Tina. Oh, it's a decent kill. CML, he'll get caught out up in the top jungle, but still a pretty nice kill here for Execration.
Yeah, I mean, look, that kill alone was worth around 1,426 gold.
That's pretty good.
A bit more.
Crit, Sonic Wave, gonna connect, he will drop to boot. Nice couple kills here from Execration, showing signs of life in a pretty dire game too.
And that's what they need, right? Like, even kills on supports at this point, as long as they're pickoffs, you're not trading back too hard, is, again, allowing you to stay in that game. Network advantage still the way of Falcons, of course. 17k up, 23 to 13. It's still their game to win on the side of Falcons, and for Execration, it's a little bit of a rougher time. Again, they've got those BKB timings, hasn't panned out. You do have a lot of damage that can come in here for Lewis once that full AC is up and running. Just more minus armor, more right click to play with, feeding into that warpath, seeing red facet as well. It's just time. And that's all Execration can do. Buy time, mitigate losses, look for pickoffs for Falcons. I mean, they still have this Aegis. They are working themselves into the refresh now on Malrine and the full Satanic up for Skitter. They can't afford to sit back and wait. At some point, you would want to clear the last outer tower down, but still at 135 HP. Doesn't take too much to blow it away, and start to think about the high ground. You've got the Roche banner, you've got the Aegis. You can't afford to shut this game down, maybe not fully yet, but start to apply even more pressure onto Exa and make them really uncomfy onto the high ground. Although, Execration's high ground isn't too bad. It's an enclosed space. Arena's always good in circumstances around those ramps. And there are opportunities to try to look for aggressive spearbacks here from Tino if you aren't too careful on Falcons.
Oh, they're smoked up, they're looking. CML might be the target they have to take, though ATF maybe looking to just jump into the base. They might do so. Tino, he's, oh, nice blink out from Tino. Quick reactions. That ward on the high ground, though, very scary as ATF now going to jump in anyway. Roar out onto Lewis. The Bristleback going to be saved by the disruption. Tino, though, in huge trouble. He'll go down to start. ATF continuing, just holding them back as they're onto the racks already. Falcons finding a fantastic play to start off this racks as Tino will cop the tip here from ATF. And so it's begun.
And it has. I'm surprised he's not tipping Lewis just as much for playing that Bristle still.
Malrine going to be in danger though, maybe a bit too early with the tip, and no, a big stunt from Skidar. CML, Shanks and Lewis all going down. Tino, he'll pop the arena. They'll get the Sonic Wave out as well, taking down the support duo at the very least, as now Malrine will also lose his Aegis. No roar available for Malrine. See if he can find a way out. It's like Skinner might come back into this team fight. In fact, he will. Palos is gone. It just happens that quickly. There goes CML. Lewis now, a sitting duck. They'll turn on Tino instead. Tino just taking way too much damage. And poor old Lewis. They'll go a bit too far. ATF literally waving at them.
Oh, no.
As they're going to dive back. Oh, this is the ATF we all know and love.
That
He's back, Jonathan.
That he is.
He wasn't happy after that game on, I'll tell you what. GG is called. All right, messages sent. We get it, Falcons.
Yeah, they woke up.
We understand.
They woke up. This is the Falcons form I think everyone was looking for a little bit earlier on. And for the side of Execration, I think one thing for me in this draft that didn't really work out is this idea of the supports. I think the Axe support is fine, but having that Shadow Demon support, sure, in lane it looked pretty amazing. You had the spear setup, you could look